Hi. The basic of most basic needs is survival for us humans. It has just become more apparent for those who are homeless than those who are not. For them, life is simple: survive or die. I was living that credo for a portion of my life. What one doesn't bargain for is the great, I'm trying to read this off of here. The great factors that stay with you long after. If you're fortunate to move forward in your life into the assimilation version of what is normality of society's life, it's difficult and different for those of us. Let me tell you about my survival story and how 4 years later, being housed, that credo still of survive or die remains 50% of my life. Yeah. The effects of homelessness, socially, emotionally, personally, spiritually, economically, it remains with us. Part of my life is day by day. With everybody it is, but it's different for those of us that have lived. Sorry. Someone wants to talk to me. It's different for those of us that have lived a life of homelessness, and then those that are still homeless. When you've lived in a homeless life, you have a different version of depression. Because once you've lived on the streets, your mind, it goes to a different place. It goes to the place that no one wants to go. It's dragged there. It's put there. Not just by the circumstance that puts you there, but by everything, by society, by circumstance, by conditions of weather, by everything. And then it's twisted. You could call it turning your mind to mush. Even the most impressive of minds gets turned that way. So to take your mind and go and put it back into society's normality, not any worker could imagine how to work with that unless you've lived that life. So trying to take someone out of homelessness is a whole nother bag of games and works. What depression is to you and depression is to me, it's two different things. And so what I've worked on for 4 years, I still work on every day. Out on the street, I lived with a life of loneliness. No matter how much I dealt with workers, with other people on the street, with other people helping me to get to my goals. Goals I found very hard to meet because I didn't know anymore where I stood as a person. It changed my emotional status, it changed my spiritual status, it changed my meaning of who I was. To come back from that and being just housed was something I fought in the beginning because a home was just a structure I couldn't figure out how to live in. It wasn't something I understood anymore. So whether a person is homeless for a year, 6 months, or 30 years, that person being housed doesn't know what it is like to be in a home anymore. And it's not their fault that they don't know this. It's not your fault that they don't know this. But it takes both sides to try to understand how to come around this. And for that fact, we need to start learning on how to provide better services for these people, because that loneliness that I found on the streets, it creeps into my heart every night still. Those services that I needed when I got housed, I still need them, and it's been 4 years later. These services that I require, they left me after a year. They need to remain in our society. I fight depression, I fight anxiety, and I took a social anxiety association group for 2 years. And even still, I find that I'm anxious in a lot of situations. Now, I'm not a chronic homeless person, but imagine if I was. That would be 10 to 20 times full. So our services are great, but they're just Band-Aid issues. We need to help these people that are homeless and better help them with situations to get them wraparound services when we house them. Otherwise, they'll end up back on the streets because they don't know what it's like to be in a home. A home is just a structure. They need help with their emotional, their spiritual, their physical, and their personal and economical situations to better live on past the 12 months, 4 years, 5 years. We need to advocate for this to happen all around across the board and help our agencies talk to each other to better set this straight, because they don't know. They need to learn. We need to learn as a society that this is not the norm, that this needs to be the norm. And society needs to be more sympathetic to the whole group, not just the homeless, but the agencies, and help them out. Because our homeless can be off the streets a lot faster, and our homeless can stop dying on the streets and off the streets. Because 599 homeless dying in 12 years is ridiculous. And a lot of those homeless that I spent and met friends with are dead. They helped me survive. Why can't I help them survive? Thank you.